Oh, good morning, my good buddy Derek.
Long time no see. How's it going?
It's going really good, man. It's so nice to sit here at our new favorite spot just right outside of Las Vegas.
Yeah, lovely diner we found. Great morning to discuss the start of the Rise League and kind of the start of the official start of like the WFA season.
Yeah, it was really nice to see the streams going again and to see the new players that we have coming up that are trying to present themselves for the upcoming draft. Some pretty good games, some pretty lopsided games, but we'll talk about all that coming up. But let's just kind of talk about what our plan is here at this diner, Derek.
Well, first and foremost, I think it's just to this is a little, as you say, a little taste of WFAN, and for all the new people, we kind of sit here and talk about maybe recap some of the games. We like to highlight players and accomplishments and have some fun banter. For all of you old fogies that have been tuning in for a while, you know what to expect in the shenanigans. And now it's just in the morning because we're old and can't stay up late. So
yeah, that's right.
That's where we're at.
And we're just sipping on something a little different this morning.
Yeah, a little coffee. Got to start my morning. Yes, it was full. This is what makes my cheery disposition because.
Well, like I said, this is our new favorite spot. We've been eating here right outside of Las Vegas once a week or more. We just really love it. So hoping to kind of let you guys in with us every so often, periodically. Maybe not every week, but every so often we'll throw one of these out and hope that you guys enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So welcome, everyone.
So we do have a few segments in store, but let's kind of start off on a lighter note here, Derek. You've got some good things lined up for us, and I'm really excited about the theme that we have for this kind of show. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to let you kind of handle how these segments are going because you're going to do a better job explaining what we're doing here.
Absolutely. So we kind of have 3 segments for everyone. Not sure, we're just going to do the order just kind of as we feel. We want to talk about our All-Star menu, which is just kind of our WFAN version of ranking teams after week 1 and their performances, kind of having a little banter about that. Then we're going to do some pairings. We're going to do our breakfast pairings, i.e. highlighting some dynamic duos that we saw on full display in week 1. And then on top of that, we want to have a segment to show, if nothing else, how qualified Colin and myself are to discuss breakfast and breakfast related items. Because I think I can honestly say, Colin, both you and I have an affinity for breakfast. I think we actually both thoroughly enjoy breakfast. Anytime we take a trip, diners are highlighted where we want to go. It's pretty much a mainstay. So I'd say we're pretty qualified for these conversations.
It's safe to say, well, I can't really speak for you, but at least for me, I am much more of a morning person than I am a night owl. So breakfast is something I thoroughly enjoy. So this is technically my second breakfast of the day because I got up at 5:30 this morning with the girls had first breakfast. But I'm excited. I always have room for another breakfast. So we're going to start the show here by talking about some of our favorite breakfast items. And if I'm not mistaken, Derek, we are going to be doing this in a draft sequence.
We are. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it. We'll decide who kind of gets first overall pick. We'll do our top 5. We're making our breakfast menu for this episode here. So what are your items? Once it's chosen, you can't choose it because obviously you've already picked it, and we don't want the waitress bringing us the same thing twice to the table. That's weird. So once it's chosen by one of us, it's too bad. The other guy just has to watch him eat it. So hopefully he didn't like that too much. So I don't know how do we want to choose who goes first?
Well, given our current situation in the WFA, at this point, I do consider you to be my superior. So you are the owner of the Las Vegas Terror. I am solely a pawn in your grand scheme. So you are going to take the first pick. We're doing 5, starting 5
overall pick, starting 5 in the WFA. Okay, sir. Even though you're in the Hall of Fame and have a few more championships than I do, but it's fine. I'll take the first overall pick.
It's all just letters and numbers.
Yeah, letters and numbers. Tell that to all the guys wanting those letters and numbers. All right. So this is a tough one because depending on what direction I go, I could open up a lot of things for you at the number 2 pick.
I'm going to write some stuff down here too. I need to get myself a war board going on.
Oh, definitely. I'm keeping track of it myself. All right. For my number 1 overall, I think just because of where I come from and how I was raised, I think this is what I have to pick for my number 1 overall. I'm going biscuits and gravy at the top of the list. It's no matter if it's a sausage gravy in a little, if you're cutting down a little grease gravy and bacon. I've had a little bit of stuff made with some corned beef, and frankly, you can just put brown gravy on biscuits and I'm eating it. So biscuits and gravy for my number 1.
There's nothing wrong with that pick at all. It was high on my list. It's not number 1.
You don't think it's not your number 1?
I think that's a stretch for a number 1 pick. I think it is.
I mean, he's sturdy. Okay, that's fair.
I think it's a stretch for a number 1 pick. It is good, man. I mean, honestly, it's what I enjoy most about Christmas morning is we go over to my mom and dad's. She makes biscuits and gravy, and I just really like biscuits and gravy. It is a good pick. Don't get me wrong.
No, okay.
But I think there's a no-brainer for me as far as my first rounder goes. I hope this qualifies. It should qualify. If I understand the rules correctly, but there's something that I have every single day that I know I would be so sad if I didn't have it.
I almost picked this, I think, and I was hoping to swoop it in for number 2. You're going to take it?
You have to start your day off with this. You definitely have to start you definitely have to start your breakfast off with a good cup of coffee.
I knew it. I almost picked it number 1. It is sitting at number 2 right here. Oh no.
I thought I was
gonna pull a fast one on you and go in here. I didn't think you were gonna take it. I thought I was gonna win. That was a tough one. I had that number 2. I almost put him up number 1. That's rough. I'm sad now, and I'm like, I thought I was gonna pull a fast one. So we're going to go with an unconventional lineup then. So number 2, that easily makes it for me. I have to go with something I had this morning. And honestly, if I'm going to pivot, this is probably the thing I eat for breakfast more than anything else, which is a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. In all forms. You can put it on toast, you can put it on a biscuit, you can put it on a bagel. Bacon, egg, and cheese. And if you're from New York City, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt and pepper, ketchup, it's just a solid way to go.
Okay. For my second pick, I'm going to stick with something that I would consider to be pretty simple.
Okay.
I think for these top picks, I need to keep it simple. Breakfast in its purest form. There is a breakfast meat that I find to be superior, and I've had a lot of good bacon. I've had a lot of not so good bacon, but the amount of bad sausage encounters that I've had has been few and far between.
Really?
Give me sausage patties for number 2.
Oh, that is, I honestly, again, thought you were going to go with bacon on that one. Big guy still on the board. I know your affinity for patties, so interesting. Not a Lynx guy, more of a patties. It's who you're wanting down in the.
It has nothing to do with the shape of of that. It's not that at all. It's just I find sausage patties to be much more tasty.
The surface area to cook them on, you get a nice crisp where you don't necessarily get that with the Lynx. I respect it.
Yep.
Again, you kind of rocked our draft board with coffee at 1, which I was hoping to sneak into 2. So we're going to continue to go with the unconventional draft. We're bringing the overlooked underdogs to the floor here. And my number 3, breakfast pizza, in all forms, from the kind of sketchy stuff you got in public school to the stuff you get at the gas station to where we have a local place in town backyard that makes a breakfast pizza with like gravy, sauce, eggs, bacon, cheese, like maple glazed crust. Like you can get up there, and a breakfast pizza is something special.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. Number 3,
a little unconventional for people, but we'll take it. All right, number 3. Let's see where you go with this.
Number 3 for me is something that's going to be a little more dynamic. It has the ability to take on several other ingredients, and really can be as simple or as flamboyant as you want it to be for the meal. It's so delicious and would go great anytime you have breakfast. I'm going with shredded hash browns, number 3.
Okay. You like for our Waffle House aficionados, I mean, I'm more of a smothered covered chunked kind of guy, which is ham, onion, and cheese. Just letting you all know. Not big for the capped or the other one with jalapenos. I don't do all that life, but okay.
I'm all about the hash browns and shredded for sure. I don't like the chunky
Not
ones. I don't like
either.
the soft home fries. I like them to be crispy. Yeah, again, it's a surface area thing for me.
That's fair. All right. We got a carb heavy thing, but again, we're going with the underdogs and ones that people may not really appreciate. For this next one, we're going to go borderline breakfast here. I consider it in the breakfast family. Others may have contention, but you know what? Sometimes the most controversial picks are the best ones. So I'm going chicken and waffles.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Savory, sweet. It's got the waffle, which is a powerhouse of the breakfast world, but then you toss in a little spice with the chicken.
I like that you're getting some sweetness on the board.
Exactly.
I was wondering when that was going to come up for you. I know you're more of a sweets guy, but I thought you might use that to your advantage because I'm not. So I'm not picking anything.
I know
sweet.
that, but if I know they're going to be on the board, that means other things that I enjoy that you might have. I gotta take a little bit, but again, unconventional had to go with this one. We're bringing up a different lineup. What do you got going for?
I think unconventional is the move for pick number 4.
Okay.
There is something that I consider to be a treat when I go out, specifically to my favorite place, Bob's Place, Old Bob Evans. There's something I like to get that I can't really get anywhere else, but man, when I'm there, I love this thing. It is, ready for it?
Yeah.
Country fried chicken and gravy.
Okay. Again, I think another controversial unconventional, because some might claim more of a dinner option, but I could see where, because like if you go to like a Cracker Barrel, it's not necessarily breakfast, more of a dinner or lunch, but I respect it. I think with the addition of gravy, especially typically white gravy, if I'm not mistaken, solid breakfast item. Okay.
Last pick.
Oh yeah. This pick is a utility pick for me. This one is one that works on the go, or what you bring to the office to appease everyone you work with or to the party. I'm going with the big one. I'm going donut. It is just good no matter what. He comes in variety, different styles, more of a jelly, cream-filled one myself. I like the pizzazz, the surprise in the middle. But honestly, good at any point in past. So, going donut.
Donut's good. Why did I not think of donut? Like I said, I'm not a sweets guy, but man, there's some donuts out there that are unmatched.
Yeah. And like if you go to Krispy Kreme when the red light's on and get a hot, fresh Krispy Kreme donut straight off the line, I mean, the cream on the donut's not the only cream that'll be present in the room. Let me tell you, it's a good time.
I'm more of a cake donut guy myself. I like I like the density. I like to chew it. I like, but I digress. My last pick is going to come as a surprise to you. I started with a beverage and I'm ending with a beverage here.
I think I know what beverage it is. I think I know.
There's just something you want to drink at the end of a delicious breakfast that's just going to put it on a high note, and this is plain old white milk.
That's not where I thought you were going, but knowing you how I know you, it makes 100%. Now, I think it's deserved for people to know that Colin consumes his milk in a very different way than the majority of the world. And I'm going to be confident in saying the majority of the world, because he's the only one I know who drinks milk the way he drinks it. And it's not how he drinks it. I guess it's in the way he drinks it.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like until I like to wait until the very end?
Exactly. Not that you like drink it through your nose or anything like that, but let the people know, like, if you're building up to this milk, and that's why he said ends his meal on it. People, this is what you need to know.
There's nothing better than just being so gosh darn thirsty you can't stand it, and then you just pour yourself a big glass of milk and chug the whole thing right there.
I've seen it more times than I can count. And I'm talking with breakfast cookies. He'll like dry his mouth out with cookies, and then it's just a chug contest with a glass of milk. Man. It's rather impressive.
It makes you feel alive.
I support it.
That was okay. I can say that our teams are definitely different.
Absolutely. Again, but I thought I was going to sneak one in, and you kind of threw off my board a little bit. So I appreciate that.
Strong lineups, though. I mean, I feel
strong
like
lineups all the way around.
I appreciated all your picks, even though I wouldn't have picked them for myself.
There were some good ones out there for the world to pick. Because I mean, honorable mentions the things like breakfast burritos, bagels. There's quality lineup. There's quality throughout the board. We only scratch the surface.
Yep. If there's something that you guys like that are watching, put them in the comments. Let us know. Okay, Derek, take us over to the next segment, which is going to be
I think they're going to be breakfast pairings, where we're going to, seeing we have proven our breakfast knowledge and our prowess, we kind of want to pivot this into highlighting a dynamic duo or two or three that we think have really showed out and kind of goes together like biscuits and gravy, like bagels and cream cheese. You know, you got those pairings that are just meant to be. I'll start us off, Colin, and you can follow up. I'll go one, and then there's definitely two I want to highlight, but I'll do one and then let you do your thing, and then I will get the third one. Not that any's better than the other, but I'm going to start off seeing I've been unconventional all morning. We're actually going to swing out and highlight two defensive players, a defensive duo, who I think kind of made their game. And I'm shouting out from the Oaks versus Grizzlies game, two defenders on the Riley Oaks. It's safety Aho Hapa and S. Contos. who's an outside linebacker. Both these guys, game leading 8 tackles, so tied for the game lead in tackles. One also had our safety there also had a tackle for loss and an assisted tackle, and our outside linebacker tacked on a interception. But leading the game in tackles was just a defensive stalwart on that Oaks defense. Really held it down in what turned out to be a 27-17 game. So those tackles very well could have made the difference in kind of holding off the Grizzlies. So shout out to the defense.
Yeah, Boise has had a good team in the past. So Raleigh's defense really showed out for week 1. So shout out to that pair. For me, we're going to, let's see here. We're going to the Bayhawks. We're going to Grand Traverse for this one. Grand Traverse scored 54 points in their week 1 showcase against the Fargo Freeze. There were two players who came together like biscuits and gravy, came together like pancakes and bacon, Derek.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And, you can imagine those breakfast pairings. These guys are it. They are hymns. I don't know if that works or not.
Hymns, I like it.
We're going with it. We've got quarterback wide receiver duo Brian Young and wide receiver Samples. So Young was 22 for 33. He threw for 364 yards with 4 touchdowns. All 4 touchdowns was to the same wide receiver, Mr. Samples.
I mean, that's a duo. That right there, that is a highlight.
236 receiving yards. Unbelievable.
I mean, if you're trying to get drafted, if you're making a statement, I can't say there's bigger statement than 236 yards and 4 touchdowns.
No, it was
I'm going to say the Terror really don't need a wide receiver, but I could make room for a guy like that.
Gosh, it's impressive. What a way to showcase your talent. I mean, the door's wide open for Grand Traverse right now. So that's a pair that we got to keep our eye on for sure.
Yep. And then just, again, I guess not to overdo it, and I won't say this is honorable mention because they were solid as well, but I have to shout out another dynamic duo, but on the offensive side, and it is for the Quebec Valkyrie, their wide receiver duo of Segu and Candle. Candle putting up 6 receptions for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns, only had 6 targets, so was perfect as far as targets and receptions, made the most of it. Segu, 5 receptions, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns, was thrown to 6 times, so only had 1 drop/overthrow in that game. So honestly, when your number 1 and number 2 wide receivers are 93 and 99 yards, 2 and 3 touchdowns, who are you going to cover? I mean, that is a solid wide receiver core just from the top 2 guys on that Valkyrie team who put up 42 points in that game.
Yeah.
45 points, sorry.
Yep. Good showcase by those guys, showing that they've got a lot of options and that everybody's capable of performing on that team. So I'm sure that there are going to be some breakfast pairings that show up in the next few weeks as teams continue to play. But for now, these are the ones that stood out.
Exactly. And we hope to highlight more. So for those of you guys taking the field in the Rise League next week, lay it out there, make it happen. We want to give you your shine. We want to put you on the platter at the middle of the table and let all the owners and GMs see you. So bring your best to the field. Coaches, game plan for some of these guys. Let them be seen.
Yep.
We want to highlight them.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, we got one more thing to do here, Derek.
Yep. A little bit of a taste for the people, which is we're going to do our all-star menu. Colin and I are kind of making our WFAN power rankings. So just kind of how we feel based on performances for week 1, where we're sitting going into week 2.
Yep. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there has been a recent power rankings dropped by the WFA commissioner. and the league commissioner.
There has been.
As of yesterday, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it on purpose because I didn't want to get distracted by what you and I thought these rankings should be. So we are probably going to get some differences, and that's okay. Power
Absolutely.
rankings are for opinions, but
true.
our opinion is the best.
Exactly. Just who we are.
So obviously, Derek, 4 teams won last week and 4 teams lost. So does that, in your mind, create any kind of separation automatically?
You would like to think that, I would think that there's no, at least from week one's performance, that no losing team would jump a winning team at this point. Mm-hmm. So the natural divide would be 1-4, 5-8. Just because I personally don't think there was any performance. The only one that kind of comes close is the Freeze Hornets game that was decided by a kick. But even then, I wouldn't say the performance deserves hopping a one-win team.
That was a good game, by the way.
That was the closest game of the week. 51-yard field goal kick by the Hornets kicker to put him up.
Yeah, the newly branded Long Island Hornets against the Guam Caribou.
Oh, the Caribou, not the Freeze. Sorry, Caribou.
Yep. The Guam Caribou.
A lot of blue.
Closest game of the week. That was a good one. There was one team, Derek, that seemed to really struggle week one. It's only putting up 2 points. What do you think?
It's definitely the Vaqueros. And on top of that, the 2 points didn't come offensively. The MVP of the Vaqueros during that game was the punter. And honestly, he led to the 2 points, pinning the Valkyrie to the 2-yard line, which led to the ultimate sack on the run play, or not sack, the safety on the run play they tried to pull. So it's going to be the Valkyrie the Vaquero at the bottom spot.
I think we're in agreement there.
Got to see the offense. The offense has got to get clicking. They were good last year. So a little bit of drop off. We know the coaching staff knows what they're doing, and so no doubt they'll turn it around.
Rudy Rohan, right, came from Tucson.
Yeah.
And he's a Gin Bowl champion now as a rookie.
Remind me. I know.
So Tucson's no joke.
Stab it deep in there. Thanks a lot.
I just wanted to remind everybody. What's your thoughts for the next one up, coming up at number 7?
It's probably going to be Fargo for me. They just didn't show a lot. Sure, they put up 27 points. And they were in a relative, or 21 points, and they're a relatively close game, but they let up 54. Defensive non-existent. So offense was okay. You can win games only putting up 21 points, but your defense has to show up, and they clearly just let the floodgates in. They open them up.
Yep, there was a 50 burger on their menu, and I'm not a big fan of that either. So let's put them at number 7. I'm with you there. Moving up to the number 6 spot. Derek, I'm looking between the Grizzlies and the Caribou at this point. The Caribou put up a good fight, but against a Long Island team that...
And if I'm not mistaken, Caribou gave up a large lead to end up losing that game. I believe it was a major comeback by the Long Island Hornets. I'm pretty sure they had a commanding lead and then gave it all up in about the third quarter.
I think you're right.
Between third and fourth.
I think you're right. The Grizzlies had a great season last season. I don't want to completely
compare.
Compare last season's events, but I think I'm leaning more towards Guam at number 6.
I can see that because not only did they give up a lead, but if you look at, they put up points. They put up something like 39 or 40 points, but they also gave up what I believe 43 points. So they can score, but they're not stopping scores either. So I think I agree. I can see that, and I can agree. I'm not going to fight you on that placement.
And as a new team for this Rise League, I wouldn't mind lighting a fire under them week 1 to see if we can get them going a bit. So let's put Guam at number 6.
I like it. Meaning number 5, I think, strike where Boise, the Grizzlies go. Again, they had some defensive stops. Well, and they played a close game, ultimately taking the loss to the Oaks. They put up 17. Just not enough production to win the game, but didn't ultimately blow me away. Good team. I think they have a lot of upside. Just didn't really blow me away week 1.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the teams that did win here and see if we can organize them a bit. So I think we're kind of looking at, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking at the Oaks and the Hornets for this number 4 spot.
I would agree on that one. And part of me wants to put the Hornets
because of that comeback.
A comeback's great for them, but their offense is capable of putting up points. So maybe first game jitters, just got a slow start, but they also gave up right at or just almost 40 points. So yes, it's great that you can score 40, but are you going to score 40 plus every game if your defense is going to give up 40 points every game?
True.
Like, that's a tough ask.
True.
So that's the simple defensive lack there, or slow start on the defense, is why for this week I'd probably put them underneath.
I can't argue that.
The Oaks.
Yep, I can't argue that. And I think there is a clear separation between the number 2 and the number 3 teams. So let's go ahead and we're going to put the Oaks at number.
Yeah, again, solid
3.
game by the Oaks. Good defense, did enough to stop them and scored more points, which is the name of the game. But again, was I blown away? No, but they're a solid team and they won. Now, number 1 and number 2, there might be a place for discussion on this one.
I think so too.
Because both wins impressive in different ways.
Right. One, there's a big separation, 41-point differential, but the other team put up over 50 points, and that's hard to do.
Which is very hard to do. 50 burgers, the chef ain't handing them out on a regular basis.
That's hard to do. You know, I have an affinity to Quebec City because I am coaching on that team.
You are,
and you know, I hate voting for myself. You know, I don't prefer to do that. But I'm going to advocate for the Valkyrie right now by saying the Valkyrie looked to be the most balanced.
I'm going to agree. Kind of in our dynamic duo, and we discovered this looking at rosters, and we didn't realize this. I would also probably be in agreement to put Valkyrie 1. And Grand oh my gosh, the Bayhawks. No, but yeah, Grand Traverse. Sorry, getting used to some of these new Rise League teams, but given the Bayhawks number 2, probably for the fact of is we highlighted both of these teams in the dynamic duo breakfast pairing segment, that the Valkyrie won it by spreading out the ball to multiple different people. 3 touchdowns to one wide receiver, 2 touchdowns to another. Running game was solid, not the best, but substantial. They had good running numbers. Yeah. If you go to the Bayhawks, Grand Traverse, it was all to one guy. And like I mentioned earlier, a guy that wasn't even drafted in the Rise League draft. This man is wide receiver 3. And so that might speak great that they have unlocked weapons they haven't even touched yet. But for me, if your stars ain't showing up week 1 and you're putting up 50, is the connection there? Is that going to hurt you down the line? What if old boy doesn't show up next week? A guy who was last week on the streets, not even drafted in the Rise League.
Yeah.
Just a guy.
I think that, I'm on board with everything you're saying. I think it makes total sense.
Also, 2 points as defensive. Only putting up 2 points is nice from my primary players have all been defensive anytime since I've been in the league. To hold someone to 2 points, even though the other team Bayhawks only gave up 21. Giving up 2 points is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, respect
Yeah.
for that, for sure. So, okay, so here's our power rankings menu. Derek, this will obviously change. Week one is just a flash in the pan.
Yeah, exactly.
Still lots of room to move up and down on this.
Out some blue light specials every now and again, highlighting and bringing some new stuff to the top. So I'm sure it'll change.
That's right. Well, Derek, I ate all my breakfast. Do you feel like you're ready to go out and start the day now?
Oh, I'm ready to start the day.
What do you got? What's the Terror got in store for today?
Terror today. Well, the Terror, we're doing final touches on getting the move over, finally getting a stadium set up how we want it. Takes a lot longer than people think. We did take over a stadium here, but we're trying to put our touch on it and make it our thing. So really it's just prep. We are finalizing some, player contracts, really deciding who's going to camp. It's that time of year, as you know. I know my head coach is currently working on playbooks and getting things ready.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you, so after the rest of the squad, the rest of the league be on notice.
We're excited for this era of terror, as we're calling it.
Oh, there we go. I'm glad to hope you guys host. Pumped to host everyone when they come to Vegas. We're definitely not going to, put hookers and coke in your hotel room at all as a night before distraction. Wouldn't be us. So, anyway, we're hoping to get some deals.
Well, we're hoping to go ahead and get this saved and posted to the YouTube channel for you guys to watch this Sunday morning. And if you guys liked what we put out here, let us know. Your feedback is very welcome. And
I believe the channel's still live to give suggestions if there's any segments you want to hear, anything you want us to talk about.
Definitely.
Especially Rise League wise. Let us know, especially for these first few episodes. Let us know what you want to hear, people.
Yep. Derek, it's been a pleasure to eat breakfast with you once again here. And we'll catch you next time on the Rise and Shine show.
Love it.